it's 4:35 and I wanted to be punctual, so thank you all for being here on time. We'll get started. Welcome, my name is Karen Bisso, and I'm so happy that you could join me here today. Friends, colleagues, local leaders, distinguished guests, the media, thank you for being here, and especially my family. I'm a New Yorker, and I'm proud of where I'm from. I've spent my life raising 3 beautiful children, as well as helping to educate hundreds of other children in this community during my 26-year teaching career, a career which was paid for by your hard-earned tax dollars. I thank you for that. Unfortunately, during these 26 years, we have watched as all of our taxes have grown drastically, like our property taxes, which have bloated while the values of our homes have not. We have watched as our school taxes and the cost of education have skyrocketed, while the successes of our children have not. We have watched as the children educated in our communities have left this state, not because they want to, but because they've had to. Lack of decent paying jobs does that. We've watched as the state has lost so many New Yorkers each and every year, it's the equivalent each year to the population of Plattsburgh. We've watched as businesses close and they never reopen. We've watched as businesses and good jobs have passed us due to high taxes, overregulation, and insurmountable restrictions and government intrusion. We've watched as this state has spent millions rehabilitating its past with no clear plan for its future. We've watched as this state forced us to take the prisons, turned them into the staples of our economy, and then like private businesses, they're trying to close them as well. We've watched as this state has bought thousands of acres of the Adirondacks, throwing off the private hunting clubs, which have been passed down from father to son for generation. We've watched as agenda-minded individuals have trampled on the Second Amendment, rights of thousands of law-abiding gun owners in this district. And we've watched as even our church dinners, chicken barbecues, and fundraising dinners for our community service organizations are now being raided by the state food police. We've watched as common sense is turned into nonsense, but I can watch no longer. I can no longer watch my friends, family, or fellow taxpayers spend every day in utter disbelief of what our state has and is continuing to turn into. A single-minded entity whose sole purpose is to punish success while rewarding failure. Why is New York losing jobs and revenue and our friends and neighbors looking for greener pastures elsewhere? New York does not embrace policies and principles which encourage not only job growth, but sustain job security. New York struggles in this area, and we see, feel, and live the result of that struggle every day. It's obvious New York is in trouble. If we keep providing a spending-addicted state government with more of our hard-earned property through tax increases, it will be akin to providing a crack addict with more cocaine and will absolutely ensure prolonged addiction to those that rely on the government as their savior. Government and growing government is not the answer. If it were, we would be the top state in the nation and our woes would be gone. But sadly, the state of New York has the most dysfunctional legislature of all 50 states. My wise friend Jules said, one need not look any further for evidence of that, beyond the fact that we have one of the highest overall tax burdens and the highest poverty rates anywhere in the nation. With the egregious amount the average taxpayer pays, our streets should be lined with gold or flowers, and our citizens well cared for and thriving. This state faces billions in deficits, yet somehow, some way, every bit of the revenue of this state manages to be funneled into the black hole of Albany's general fund. We're triple taxed on gasoline here, which pretty much means that we pay more than just about anywhere else in the country. We have the highest utility rates of anywhere in the nation. We're getting crushed under exorbitant tax rates, and now the people responsible for this ridiculously oppressive tax burden that places a huge segment of our population below the poverty limits wants to give themselves a pay raise. Those politicians who have been utterly derelict in their duties to improve the solvency of the state and our future are now branding together in their quest to yet again abuse the public trust through salary increases for themselves. And then there are those legislators who engage in the unethical practice of double dipping, receiving a salary for a current position while collecting a pension on a previously publicly funded job. And all this we leave to our children, really. Now is the time to unite and yell, "Stop the madness." Now is the time to send a well-crafted message to Albany instead of being told what we need to do by Albany. Now is the time to deliver instead of receive. Now is the time to inform the rest of the state that the North Country is not another country. We're a critical part of this state. Now is the time to say no. No more taxes, no more growing of our government, no more welcoming illegal aliens into our state and offering them the best social service programs any state can offer, courtesy of your tax dollars. No more raises for lawmakers who haven't done the job we entrusted them with. No more competing for monies and awarding private business owners with chicken plucker trucks at the cost of our tax dollars. No more applications within the Adirondack Park, which take 8 years to approve due to overregulation and a burdensome bureaucracy. No more losing good-paying jobs to all places Bayonne, New Jersey, due to ridiculous legislation. And no more special interest groups whose dollars influence the decisions of our lawmakers. And finally, no more enormous, out-of-touch, superfluous paperwork filing, difficult to get an answer from, testing-addicted, unpredictable, revenue-paying state education department, which is single-handedly coercing us into a nationalized education program, over-testing our children, and causing local school taxes to sharply rise and tax the public trust. It's time to say no more, and that's why I'm here today. I've always believed in limited state government. I've always voted for conservative values. My lifelong attitude is for all taxpayers to keep as much of their earnings as possible. I've always supported representatives who have the integrity necessary to always tell their constituents the truth, to uphold and not abuse the law, to actually honor and uphold their sacred oath. I will, no matter what. If I say I will not support tax increases, I will not. I'm a person who says what I mean, and I absolutely mean what I say. If I commit, I uphold my commitments. If I say I will not do something, I absolutely will not do it. If I say I will, then you can count on me. I'm a Christian, and I believe in God. I strive to be honest and always honorable, and it is my lifelong task to never lie. I support reduced property taxes by ending foolish mandates. I oppose agency regulations which stymie business. I support legislation which is first debated and passed by the legislature, not by some bureaucratic, faceless agency without the support of the people. I object to executive orders by a governor versus voter referendums, such as the safe use of fracking to generate prosperity for all New Yorkers. Together we can do this. Why? It's easy. We're all Americans. We're all New Yorkers. We love this country. We intend on doing everything in our power to restore it, to gift it to our children in better condition than we received it, and to preserve the intentions of the past while creating the most for its future. I'm not here to announce, but I'm here to ask for your permission and your support to become the next assemblyman for the 115th Assembly District. This is the most important job interview of my life, and I'm going to spend the next 264 days listening to the 130 residents of this district and begin the task of pulling together the message we deliver to Albany, which starts with the next chapter of New York. Now, thankfully, it's time for me to begin listening to all of you. Please talk to me. I'm listening. Thank you so much for coming.